At some point, you start realizing something. You've been choosing everyone else except yourself. And it doesn't happen all at once. It's more like a pattern you start noticing. The way you adjust yourself in certain spaces, the way you silence certain thoughts to keep things comfortable, the way you stay longer than you should just to avoid disturbing anything, and you don't even realize it's happening while it's happening. In the last couple of episodes, I talked about awareness and alignment and noticing what doesn't feel right anymore. But awareness doesn't mean much if it doesn't turn into something. At some point, you have to respond to what you're seeing. And that's where things start to shift. Because once you see where you've been out of alignment, can't really unsee it. And I think the hardest part isn't seeing it. It's what comes after. When you realize you have choice to keep going the same way or to start choosing differently. I've been in that space where I started noticing what felt good and what didn't, what drained me and what actually felt like me, what required me to shrink and what allowed me to just be. And I won't lie, that awareness can make things complicated because once you know better, you start questioning everything, your decisions, your environment, even yourself. Like, why did I stay so long? Why did I ignore that feeling? Why did I think that was okay for me? And you can sit in that questioning for a while, but eventually it turns into something else. It turns into a decision, a quiet one, not always dramatic, not always loud, but intentional. You start choosing differently. You start listening to yourself a little faster. You start saying no without needing to explain it as much. You start stepping back from things that don't match where you're going. And it might feel uncomfortable at first because not everyone understands when you start choosing yourself. Some people are used to the version of you that overextends, the version of you that stays quiet, the version of you that adjusts easily. And when that version starts changing, it can shift dynamics. But I've learned that's not something to fear. It's something to pay attention to. Because if choosing yourself disrupts a space, that space was already requiring too much of you. And I don't think that means people are bad or spaces are wrong. It just means alignment is changing. And I've had to sit with that, not from a place of blame, but from a place of honesty. Where do I actually feel like myself? And where do I feel like I'm performing? And the more honest I became with that question, the clearer my choices became. Choosing myself didn't look like one big moment. It looked like small decisions, one after another, over time. Leaving things earlier, staying quiet when I needed to observe instead of react, saying no without over explaining, sitting with discomfort instead of rushing back into familiarity. And slowly, I started trusting myself more. And that's what I think this is really about. Not choosing yourself not just choosing yourself for once, but rebuilding trust with yourself over and over again. Because the more you choose yourself, the more you believe yourself. And once you get there, you stop needing as much outside validation to move through life. I promise you. You just start moving differently. So if you're in that space right now where you're starting to notice things, starting to question things, starting to feel like that quiet shift inside of you, don't rush it. You don't have to make every decision today. You just have to start listening. And when you do, you'll know. And that's where you'll start choosing yourself. That's where choosing yourself really begins.